Hello, my name is Anne and welcome to a Tobyknits Quilty Fun episode 27. Now, have I got some exciting things to show you? If you're new to my channel, then welcome. Mondays I typically talk about knitting, Wednesdays is cross stitch, and Fridays is my quilting journey that only began, so be gentle with me, about 2 years ago. This month, however, I've not had any knitting videos out because I've been focusing on Jolly July and doing my cross stitch and quilting. So we will jump into what I have to show you on the quilting front. First off is Unravelled. Now, this was it's just been over a year now. I joined the Sew Sampler box of the month, and every month you get sent a beautiful box, a blue box, and it's full of fabric from the Fat Quarter Shop and an exclusive pattern and a couple of little notions as well. It's a great tool for a new quilter like me who had no idea about all the various cuts of fabric. I just thought it came on one big roll and you just cut it up and that was it. I didn't know there was charm squares and mini charm squares and jelly rolls and jolly bars and fat quarters. I had no idea. So to get this box with some fabulous fabric, number one, in various different cuts, to me was amazing, and I have quite a little collection going now. Anyway, this one was one of those from the box. This was the June box, I think. And here is my beautiful, and I will put it on the table to show you a better view in a minute, but this is the beautiful Unravelled. And we used charm squares. There were 2 packs of charm squares from Laundry Basket Quilts, and we put them all together in these 2 blocks. The blocks were exactly the same. You just moved the flying geese in 2 different directions. So, let me try and find it. I'll show you on the table. It'll be way easier. Okay, so here it is on my table. And so here is one square, and you can see the way the flying geese are going there. And here's the other square where now they're different, but it's the same exact pattern. You've just moved the colors around a little bit to give you diamonds and squares, which I thought was gorgeous. I got the backing kit for this, not the backing kit, I'm sorry, the finishing kit they used to call them. They don't do them anymore. So you got all this fabric in a kit as well, and the background here, so that you could do the borders and such. And what I did was, it was only actually 4 rows down, but I added an extra row to make it longer, and then an extra border with a cornerstone to make it bigger as well, because my daughter-in-law wanted it big. And then to finish it, I was humming and ahhing about what to do to quilt it, and I decided to tie it. So it is all hand tied with a cotton yarn, and this is what the back looks like. Oh, minus this big piece of, you can see all the little ties come through all the levels. I always typically try to make my binding the same as the backing, because I feel like it just flows in, and then if you make a mistake, you can't tell. But here is how it came out, and I love it. And what I did for the first time ever was I put a label on. I did a corner label, sewed it into the corner, and then just hand stitched it down there. I do always hand stitch my backing on the back, the binding on the back, always. And I will write in a marker on there so it won't come off when I finished it for her, and that it was for her. So this is the quilt. I love it. And I love the fact that because it's tied and not machine quilted, whether long arm or ruler quilting or on the sewing machine, you can see the patterns better in the fabric. And it's not all scrunched up. It's very fluffy and thick and cozy. So I love how it turned out. What do you think? Wasn't that nice? Now that quilt had sat for so long with the backing ready to go and the quilt batting and the piecing all done, because I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how I wanted to finish it off, like quilt it. And I'm struggling with this one too. This has been sat here forever, finished. And this was a 3-yard quilt that I did. Oh my gosh, I feel like I must have finished this, I don't even know when, months ago now. And I got this fabric when I was down east, and I just loved it. And of course, that's where my son lives, or one of my sons, and I fell in love with this fabric. So I bought it and made this quilt. It was a very quick and easy quilt to make. And I was gonna send it to the long armor, but you know, every time I think of how much it costs. And that is why I had started to learn how to free motion quilt myself, or anyway, I'm not that good at it yet. I'm getting there. On small projects, I'm great, but on a big project like that, I didn't want to faff with the machine and try to get it all through and leave it for days, because it's like, it's not a 5-minute job, right? It takes you a couple of days to completely, you know, because you have to take your time. So I decided I'm gonna tie this one as well. I think I must be a tying maniac right now. And this is the yarn I'm gonna do. It's a paint box yarn, a DK worsted weight. And it goes beautifully with this. So, and it's actually called Sailor Blue. So I think this is gonna be perfect for that. And that's how I'm gonna finish this. And I have the backing already for this too. And the binding. I have no excuse. I have no excuse. So that's my thought on that. I really do like the idea of tying more than I, at the moment, this could change. You know what I'm like. The other thing I have been working on is the Boo Crew Sew Along with the Fat Quarter Shop. And this, I'm always a week behind because I like to get it, for it to come out and look at it and take my time with it and then sew it. So I will, right now I think we're on week 3 and I've just finished week 2. And this is week 2. Oh my gosh. Look how cute this is. Oh my goodness. And I thought for sure that this was going to be hard because there's lots of pieces, like all these little triangles and such. And here's something funny too. I thought this was part of the candlestick, and then no, it's the tail from the ghost. Anyway, isn't he lovely though, my little ghost? Oh, I love that. So there he is. I am loving doing this, and it's a free sew along. I did purchase the kit to get the fabric that they're using, which is Too Cute to Spook. And because I wanted the same fabric, because I don't have a lot of Halloween fabric. The only bit of Halloween fabric I have is from last year when I did Boo Crew, the kind of the leftover. And that wouldn't be enough to make another quilt. So I just love this. I think it's so cute. Yay! So there is that one that I've been working on, and it's really not as hard as you think, providing you've cut your pieces out properly. And if you just label them all and take your time. And I've watched Kimberly sew it together on her YouTube video, and I'll leave a link to that below. But I find that she skips and jumps ahead sometimes to make it easier for her sewing. But for somebody like me who's still a bit new, I prefer to just follow the steps, even if I have to keep changing my foot 4 or 5 times. I don't care, because I'm following the steps and getting each little section right. Maybe when I'm better at all this and can go quicker, I might jump ahead, but I kind of like doing it my way. So that was, and I'll put a picture here of what last week's looks like with this week's and how I think perhaps they will go. Because again, it's a mystery. You have no bloody idea how it's all going to come together. And then what else? Oh yes, finally, to show you, I think I showed you this one last week, which is the Beautiful Day Block 5 that I'm doing with Coriota of Coriander Quilts. And this again is a free sew along, and I did purchase the panel to do this. Every block has a panel in the middle, but I already had a fat quarter bundle, a mini petite bundle, so 12, and you needed 20 fat quarters. So I also had some of her of Beautiful Day, and I also had her other line, Cozy Up, which I think this is from. So I kind of added bits and bobs to it. This was very interesting to learn how to do. This is a quarter square, and I really enjoyed it. I don't quite yet seem to be able to manage to actually line up my quarter squares properly. That one's not too bad. That one's not too bad. But some of them were not lining up. But I have to make 4 of that block. So that was the first one I did and showed you last week. So there was the next block, and they're getting better. You can see my lines are getting better because I took my time trimming them down, and I used the best tool ever. It's a 6.5-inch Creative Grids square ruler, and I love it. So it was great to trim these blocks down, and you can see that they're definitely, although maybe this one's not so good, they are getting better and managing to, that one's a bit rubbish here. It doesn't doesn't meet properly there, but that'll be in the seam allowance. No one's gonna know. So there's that one, and then finally there's this one, which is gorgeous. And that one's much better too. So I'm getting there. Anyway, next what we have to do with that is put it together. And let me tell you, I don't know what I did with the instructions. It is going to be huge. It will fit my queen size bed. So I have no idea how that's going to get quilted. That may definitely have to be sent off. But anyway, so what I'm going to do with that is, it's got the strips between each block with a cornerstone unit. This is what I'm going to do for my cornerstones between each of the rows and the blocks. So I think those are kind of pretty. They've got little roses on them. Some of them, the rose cut out quite well, others didn't. But again, I wasn't matching them on purpose. And then what I thought I would do is, I don't know if I want to use that as the border. Of course, I have to order the fabric because I don't have enough. That's not going to do it. Or this. I'm kind of leaning towards this because I think it might go nice, but I don't know, that looks nice too. And then for the backing, I thought I would go with this, just nice and calm and cool. On Kari's quilt, she is using this as her big border, but I found the gray just eked it out, and I want the reds to show. I want the red to be the prominent. So I don't know, I think I might use that one for the border, and definitely this for the background, the backing. But I was thinking that might be nice too, because then you've got, oh, it's such a hard time trying to make a decision. Oh, anyway, who knows? So that's where I'm at with that. Anyway, last, I have two announcements. Number one is I am very excited to tell you that I have 2 boxes that are coming. Well, I shouldn't say 2 boxes. They're not 2 boxes. One's a box. I am doing the Design a Mystery Quilt 2022 with the Fat Quarter Shop. I bought it myself, don't worry. And I am super excited. It should be arriving today or tomorrow. And I cannot wait to show you that. It is beautiful. It's a block of the month. This will be the first block that arrives. And I did buy the finishing kit because I love the way this fabric is. It's the Nantucket something. Anyway, oh, I love it. And so that's coming. So I'm hoping that will be today or tomorrow. And the other thing is, I think the 29th, so next week is your last week to get in on the Cotton Cuts mystery block of the month as well. Cotton Cuts is also a US company, and what they do is they send you a package every month. It's just a small little envelope, and in that envelope are the clues to put together for the quilt that you're going to be making. And it takes 9 months of clues to come, and the 10th month is your borders and your binding and the instructions to put the quilt together. Now, you might think that by the time you've finished your clue, it's going to look something like that, like a block. No, 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 not at all. It's a total mystery. I'm not kidding you. You finish something and you look at it and you're like, well, what does that make? And sometimes they're long and skinny strips, and other times they're little squares, or they're super fun to do because you have no idea what you're making. But here is the absolute, for me, best part, hands down. It's pre-cut for you. Yes, pre-cut. You don't have to do anything. When it comes, it's already been done. All you have to do is take your little instructions that are in your envelope, and you take your little pieces and you lay them all out and you sew them together. And here is where the best part is. I am going to be sewing them so you can follow along. Yes! Oh my gosh! So it's going to be so much fun. And if you want to get in on it, you still have time. There are some colorways left. I'll put a picture here of all the various colorways so you can see what they look like. I'm doing Valet. And, oh yeah, and if you use my code and Piazza, you'll get a free gift in your first clue. I have no idea what the free gift will be, but I'm told you'll like it. So, oh! So anyway, those are 2 exciting things that are coming in the mail. I cannot wait. And this video has gone on way too long. So I guess it's time for me to go. I definitely need a cup of tea. I hope you enjoyed your cup of tea while you've been watching this. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Tell your mates about this so they can come along and watch me put together the Cotton Cuts and maybe the Design a Mystery. I might put that together so you can see it. It's so much fun sewing and making quilts. Oh, anyway, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I won't be back this Monday yet still, but I'll be back on Wednesday with some floss tube, and then next Friday for more quilty fun. So I'll see you then.